my vlog on colonoscopies for a young person. So there you go. Good morning. I am 36 years old and I'm gonna have a colonoscopy tomorrow. So my brother had some abnormal results on his colonoscopy, and so his doctor said that I should get mine right away, basically. So today is prep day, which means that I'm on clear liquids all day long. And clear liquids means no milk, no thick broth, nothing you can't see through. So I have a Starbucks. I got a medicine ball is the nickname for it, which is some kind of like a vitamin C booster or something is the official name. But if you say medicine ball, they know what you're talking about. So anyway, it's a clear drink with lots of vitamin C and honey in it. And then I'll have some green tea and black tea throughout the day, and if my work kitchen can provide chicken broth, I'll have that, or Jello. And I'm sure I'll be hungry by evening time, but I'm not concerned at this point because I've been practicing the 16-8 intermittent fasting anyway, fairly frequently, and so I'm not worried about not eating for the morning, because that's semi-normal for me. I'm excited to get my colonoscopy actually because I've had digestive issues for a few decades, and so it'll be interesting to see if there's anything visible that explains that, or if I just have sensitivities. And I used to work in a general surgery clinic, so I am well versed in the process and what to expect after the colonoscopy, because I would take calls and stuff, and typically people did just fine. When they called, they really didn't have any pain or anything like that, and so I'm not worried about pain. I'm not scared about the procedure. I'm just excited to get it done and see what the results are. And I figured since I'm a youngin', 36, getting my colonoscopy, it might be interesting for you guys to watch this video. So I'm on clear liquids all day, and then at 5 p.m. I get to actually start the real prep. So I will chime you guys in at that point. Hey guys, so it is now about 4:30 p.m. and I did a whole day of work, and sun sneezes. And I just had lots of clear liquids. I had a few cups of chicken broth from the kitchen. I had a lot of tea. I am hungry, but I am doing fine. Now I feel a little bit of tightness in my chest right here, which is fine. I'm not worried about it at all. My stomach has acid and they can't digest anything, so I think that I am having kind of like a little bit of heartburn from not having eaten anything. It's all good. So I'm on my way home, and I'm gonna do my 5 p.m. prep here pretty soon, and I'll chime you in when I'm doing that. Alright, so here is the ClenPiq, and it's 160 milliliters. It's cranberry flavor, and it's clear. And it's 5 p.m. now, and I'm going to go ahead and drink this baby down. That does not taste bad. It tastes... I just finished sipping on this coconut cascade, and honestly, it really doesn't taste bad at all. Easy peasy. Did not taste bad at all. It actually tastes kind of good. What did Mama just do? What did Mama drink? What did Mama drink? Alright, so I just did this step, 5 p.m. I drink 1 bottle. And then I'm going to drink a minimum of 5 8-ounce cups of clear liquid over the next 5 hours. So 5 times 8 ounces is 40 ounces. So that's going to be this coconut Cascade, which is 17 ounces. And then this Gatorade, which is 32 ounces. So between the two of them, that makes more than 40 ounces of clear fluids. That's also easy. Okay, it's been about 12 to 15 minutes and I'm experiencing some mid-abdominal tummy cramping. So it could just as likely be just because I just drank something and I have been with an empty stomach for a few hours, but it's probably the medicine is starting to work. Okay, so it's been an hour since I drank the ClenPiq and not a single result, nothing yet. It's been an hour and a half and nothing yet. All right, it's now been 2 hours since I drank that and I think that I'm ready to finally go into the bathroom. All right, it's been 3 hours since I drank the ClenPiq, and so for hour 2 to hour 3 I've been in the bathroom and it's been fine. Thankfully there's no discomfort, abdominal discomfort with it, which is great. Basically you just hear like a lot of rumbling in the tummy and then you do your do. So it's not painful, it's not uncomfortable, it's just cleaning you out. So I'm gonna get some tea going. I'm gonna see if I have any chicken broth and I'll start doing that because one thing I'm trying to do is keep replenishing the fluids going in to help everything clean out better. So I'm gonna see what other clear liquids I can ingest right now. Lasted from hour 2 to hour 3 after drinking the ClenPiq. And now it's 10 p.m. I'm gonna go to sleep and I have to wake up at 3 in the morning to have my second dose of ClenPiq. Okay guys, here it is. Three a.m. So I'm just gonna rinse my mouth because I was sleeping for the last 4 hours. And then I'm going to drink bottle number 2. Tastes just fine. This time when I drank it, I felt like it went directly down to my bowels. It was just like immediately my bowels started to grumble and growl with the first few gulps. So now I need to drink a minimum of 3 8-ounce cups of clear liquids over the next hour. This is 32 ounces of peppermint tea with some honey in it. So this is a minimum of 24 ounces, and I'm going above and beyond with 32 ounces. as of 4 a.m. I stopped drinking any fluids because nothing by mouth after 4 a.m. So I was watching the clock and I stopped drinking water at that point. Okay, so it is 4:21 in the morning. I've been awake since 3. Been in the bathroom almost the entire time, and really the first probably half an hour was probably the most productive. So unlike the first dose, which took 2 hours to start being active, this time it was active almost immediately, and it was pretty much over after the first half hour. But I drank a lot of fluids, and I think most of those fluids are still in my belly. So I'm going to go to sleep for about an hour and 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna have to wake up and take a shower and get ready for my procedure. Alright, so as soon as I finished videoing that last bit, I went and lay down on the couch and closed my eyes, and my stomach started to rumble, and I got up and came to the bathroom, and I've been in the bathroom ever since. So I've had about 20 minutes of being productive. Now I'm going to try to go to sleep again for the next 45 minutes. And then I have to wake up again. She works in close concert with the anesthesiologist. That's so cool, those beautiful colors. That's awesome. Okay guys, I finished my colonoscopy. It's been a little while. I just left the hospital and I dry heaved into my plastic bag here in the car with motion sickness. And now I'm just really zonked. Very tired, and my brain takes a long time to think of things to complete sentences. So I'm going to take a nap. The doctor said that everything looks great. It was squeaky clean. It's my vlog on colonoscopies for a young person. So there you go. Hello, sleepy again because of the following. So before my colonoscopy, they gave me IV ondansetron, which is Zofran for nausea, because I told them that I get motion sickness. And they said that some of the meds that they're going to give for anesthesia and such, meds that they're going to give during the procedure, can cause nausea. Then I hung out waiting for the doctor to be ready for me. Then I went back, and then they put IV, so they knocked me out, and I probably was out within about 15-20 seconds after they put that in the IV. And then next thing I know, I was waking up back in my original room, and someone was holding my hand, and it took me like 2 or 3 minutes, I think, but time is distorted, to realize that it was my husband holding my hand. At first I thought it was the nurse holding my hand, and I didn't have any problem with that. I was okay with that, but I was also quite loopy. And then I figured out that it was my husband, and I tried to ask him some questions and tried to respond to some questions, and I kept fading in and out during that. And then we got in the car, and already I was feeling some motion sickness. And we came home. I tried to eat a piece of, like a tiny piece of bread, tiny tear off of the end of a piece of bread, and I was nauseated right away. And by the time we were getting back in the car to go to my daughter's parent-teacher conference, and so there's some ginger chews in there which are supposed to help with nausea. And so I had a ginger chew, and that didn't make me feel any better. And then about 15 minutes driving down the road, I had my husband pull over so I could vomit on the side of the road. So I got out of the car and I vomited, but I had nothing in my tummy except for that tiny piece of bread and the ginger chew. So those two things came up, and then I just dry heaved for a little bit. And I think I vomited one more time on the way to her conference. Then we went to her conference. When we got to her school, I went to the bathroom and I vomited in the bathroom there, mostly dry heaving and like tiny bit of spit basically coming out. And I was wearing these two on the drive, which is supposed to help with nausea. And then we had the conference, and all the way up until about 4 p.m. when we got home from the conference, I was a little woo-woo, and so I would hold on to my husband's arm whenever we were walking. When I first got back from the procedure, when I got home before going to her conferences, I took a step backwards. I lost my balance a little bit, and he stabilized me with his arm. And when we got to Karina's conference, her teacher said that she didn't say impressed, but she was like, well, you didn't have to come here on your colonoscopy day. And I said, no, it's important to be here, and I'm tough. I just want you to know that if I seem drugged to you, it's because I am drugged. So, and then I got through the conference fine, I think. I probably seemed pretty, maybe a little tired and monotone, but I was still able to get my thoughts out and hear her well. So I think I remember clearly and as far as memory goes, I think I remember clearly everything that happened since leaving the hospital. I think I could recall pretty much most of the conversations that were had from then. And then we got back in the car, and on the way home, I had to have my husband pull aside twice for me to vomit on the side of the road again. It was pretty pitiful. It was just white foam was coming out. I had like three medium-sized drops on the ground of white foam. That's all I had in me. So at this point, because I tossed up the tiny bit of white bread and the ginger chew that I attempted to have, and I haven't attempted any water because I just felt like I couldn't handle anything. Like I couldn't ingest anything. So the last time I ate food was 2 days ago, and it's now 7 p.m. So I made it home from the parent-teacher conferences after the white foam on the side of the street, and then I immediately went straight into bed, and that was about 4-ish, and now it's 7, so I was sleeping until 7 now. And I was sleeping in the car a lot, by the way, on the drive, and between sleeping, I would wake up and have my husband pull over for me to vomit. So the worst part of the colonoscopy for me was not the prep. The prep was fine, as you saw. The worst part for me was the nausea afterwards. And I don't know if that's unique to me because I do have problems with motion sickness to begin with. but they did give me the Zofran for nausea because of that, and they had told me that the Zofran typically works pretty well for people like me who have motion sickness, that the Zofran typically prevents people from getting nauseated, but it really did not help for me. So there was a lot of kind of suffering with my nausea. I should mention that it was also even just getting up from a sitting position. I would feel nausea from that. You know, any movement that made the blood pump, I would get nausea from that. So if I was walking, I could feel nauseated. Now at 7 p.m., I got out of there at like 10 or 11 in the morning. So it's been many hours now. It's been about 8 hours now. And now I'm going to, since I just woke up, I'm gonna go downstairs and attempt to have some canned beef stew, which sounds good right now. Hello, family.
She lives. Good job on working hard on your grades though, Rainey. You really have been working a lot harder even. So now you should be starting to enjoy improving and getting better.
But now their lives are in danger is why.
Okay, so I just threw up a lot. I tried to drink water. It's now 7 p.m. I had 2 500 milligram Tylenol for my headache, which was probably, my headache was probably because of throwing up and dehydration. The Tylenol and the water that I just had came out both orifices, this one and this one, and it's stinging my back of my nose right now. And of course it tasted really bitter coming out because Tylenol tastes bitter. So I just drank lots of water in an attempt to help flush my system, go pee and pee out the toxins, but all the water just came out this way. So I couldn't watch TV because there was too many visuals going on in front of my eyes, making me nauseated. So I'm upstairs again now. I have ice chips by the bed, so I'm gonna try to suck on some ice chips and lay down in the dark room. Okay, so it's 12:37, the night after. I slept a lot yesterday, so now I'm up again and I'm heating up some soup, and I'm gonna attempt again to have some soup. All right, I had some soup. I didn't eat many of the solids in there. I just had a little bit of barley and one chunk of meat. And I think that's probably enough of an advancement in my diet so far. So I'm gonna put this back in the fridge, try to go to sleep, and then next time I wake up, I'm gonna try to have some more soup. Okay, so I woke up at 5:30 and I cut up some apples, and I'm doing fine with them so far. And I haven't felt any nausea since getting up, but when I take tight turns, and sometimes my brain feels a little, whoa, kind of just like dizzy, I guess, just a tiny bit. Or I can feel the blood going to my head when I'm turning, is a better way to say it. But so far I've been handling the apples just fine. So I think I'm over the hump. Alright guys, I am still in my PJs because today is my recovery day. Today is day 1 post colonoscopy, and I'm already feeling a lot better. So as of about midnight last night was when I first started to be on the mend. I had my cup of soup, which you saw, and then this morning at 5:30 I had the apple slices, which you saw. I probably had like a quarter of an apple. This video was really meant to show you how easy colonoscopies are and how it's nothing to worry about. And the prep was great. There was no problem with the prep, and everyone says that's the worst part. The colonoscopy was great. I slept through it and had no problems and no pain. I haven't had pain throughout this whole thing. The waking up from the anesthesia and being sleepy was just kind of weird. Like at least the first minutes coming out of anesthesia were really strange, but I'm sure that's the same with everybody, just trying to say sentences and then getting lost in the middle of the sentence and then nodding off, and that's all fine. I mean, that's to be expected. You were just knocked out. And the sleepiness afterwards was fine, and I get that. Now, like I may have said, I get motion sickness really easily. So they asked me before my colonoscopy if I have issues with motion sickness, and I said yes. And so they gave me Zofran IV to decrease the chance that I would get nauseated from the anesthetic medication. So either the Zofran didn't work at all, or if they hadn't given it to me, I would have been worse than I was yesterday. And yesterday was pretty bad with my nausea. So I ended up vomiting or dry heaving about 8 times, and I was pretty much nauseated all the way up until midnight. So I got out of my colonoscopy around 10:30 in the morning, and I was nauseated all the way until midnight, and I could not get a single thing down, not even water. The only thing I could handle was ice chips, and that was in the evening time. That was sometime after 5 p.m. that I started having ice chips, and I could tolerate the ice chips. So I got a call from the surgery clinic asking how I was doing, and I told them everything, and they talked to the doctor, who said that it's really hard to pinpoint exactly which medication did that to me because the anesthesia meds are a cocktail that they give. Oh, I still have my wedding ring off because I took it off before the procedure. But the doctor thought that the most likely culprit was the fentanyl that's given, the narcotic, that's what caused my nausea, but she couldn't be 100% certain. So, but I don't think that my nausea issues are very common because, like I may have said, I worked in a surgery clinic and I would field a lot of the post-colonoscopy phone calls from patients, and I really didn't hear about people saying that they were nauseated. The nurse post-op was telling me that a lot of people, even though they recommend to start eating slowly, you know, like with soups and stuff, things that are easy on the tummy, that a lot of people just go out and have a big breakfast after their colonoscopy. So, and since I don't take any medications whatsoever, pretty much, I think my system isn't used to medications. And I do have a kind of weak constitution with my body. I have a lot of sinus issues and a lot of food sensitivities, and so my body may just not be as tough as some other people's. I think I get sensitive to stuff a lot faster. I will Google how many patients experience nausea after a colonoscopy. If I can find that online, I will post the stats right here. And the best part of it was that I found out that I have a very healthy colon. And that's really good to know because, like I may have said earlier, since I have a lot of digestive pain and things, I was wondering if there was something wrong in my tummy. And now that the doctor told me that all of my colon is great, that tells me that most likely my issue is just food sensitivities. So if your doctor has suggested that you should get a colonoscopy, go and get it done. It'll be fine. It's probably not likely that you're gonna have nausea afterwards like I did. And despite the after effects, I am very happy that I got it done because now I know that my colon is healthy. And if I had something in my colon that was not healthy, I definitely would have wanted to know, and I definitely would have wanted the doctor to take it out. Not my whole colon, but the bad part, or the polyp, or whatever. Or the insert words here of bad things in your colon. That's a huge thing to know, and what I'm hearing is that colon cancer is the only kind of cancer that you can prevent, meaning they can find the bad stuff and take it out before it develops into cancer. So it's definitely worth it. Even my experience, it was definitely worth it. Now I'm gonna go finish my almond tea and enjoy the quiet house.